Hello everyone, today's video we're going to be going over a quick guide for players. This is assuming that you are a new player, you've just been invited to a game in Foundry, and this is the screen that you're looking at, or something similar. So let's say my player's name is Jim. I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to click join game session, not join gym session. After I am in, it'll take a little bit of time to load up. I will see a screen very similar to this one here. Looking at the screen, I see a few things. The first thing I see is I see player color. This color is used for a few things in game, but we'll get into that later. Just make sure you pick a color that you like. I also see there is a player avatar. You don't have to change this at this time if you want to, or you can. It's your choice. And there's also select character. This character is already here because the GM has assigned this character to my player. So I'm going to go ahead and click that and press Save Configuration. Cool. And since I have selected that character to be assigned to me, I now have control over that character and I can move it freely. And as you can see, I'm moving. Right now I'm moving with the arrow keys. But I can also use WASD if I'm more familiar with that. If I want to move in another way to move is I can press Control and holding Control and click, I can see that I have a ruler tool. And if I click there, it is locked in place as I held Control. And then if I want to move, I just press spacebar. So let's try that one more time. So click, holding Control, click, holding Control, spacebar, move. So it's pretty nice if you want to move like a few, like I want to move 15 feet here, 5 feet, or 10 feet there, and then 5 feet over here. And you move all around. So play around with that, see how that works for you. Again, just click, Control, and spacebar to move. Right, looking around, as I moved my character around, you can see that the vision has opened up. What is happening is the fog of war is being pulled away as my character is moving around. I also can see there are a few things that are available to me. On the left hand side, I have the basic controls, I have targeting, and I have a ruler tool. The ruler tool is just what we used earlier with control, but you can also use this as well. Here, I have measurement controls. This is useful if you perhaps have a spell that uses a circle, a cone, a rectangle, or a ray. You can create this by clicking and dragging. And then to delete it, you just click there and press delete. You can also create a template like so. And then if I want to edit it, I can click there and I can change the color, I can change the angle, I can change the width. I have full access to things here as well. But then just click and delete. The last one I have over here, you probably won't have this happen or be useful that often. You have toggle notes display. Perhaps if your GM uses notes very frequently. Cool. Let's go back over. And that is everything on the left hand side. On the right hand side, we see there are a number of small icons here in the top right hand corner. At the very top, this one here is the chat log. If I want to type out to my players, I can here. And this is a pretty cool feature of Foundry. As I type in hello and have my character selected, we can see the bubble appears above my character and it appears in the chat log as though my character is saying it. This is at least a default feature in Foundry. Perhaps your GM, though, has changed it. So again, if you have your character selected and type in the chat log, it'll appear by default as though your character is saying it. Next up, we have the Encounters tab. This is for when you are in combat. If you want to, if your GM has indicated that you will be starting combat, you can join the combat by right-clicking and pressing the sword and shield icon. This will toggle combat state. But unfortunately, there is no active combat in your currently viewed scene because my GM has not started a combat. But if your GM indicates that you'll start combat, you just right click and press that. Next up, we have actors. Right now, I only have my actor available to me because that is the only character I control. However, if you're playing, perhaps you're playing a character that summons other creatures, or you're playing a character that can wild shape into other creatures, you might see more things here. Or if there's, I don't know, any NPCs that are following and you have control over for some reason. After that, there are items, which again, maybe you have items that are available to you or available to your party. You have journal entries, if your GM has shared anything with you and it's visible in Foundry. You have tables for maybe random loot tables. That's more of a GM, but you might also possibly see that. Audio playlists. So, sometimes your GM might play music. You have control over how loud that music is right here. And the last one we have is the Compendium browser. Well, the second to last one, that is. Here, there are some things available. Some of these things maybe you shouldn't look at, potentially, because you don't want to like sneakily take a peek at a monster's information in the compendium. But it's still here. There are other things that maybe your GM will indicate that you want to pull up, but you probably don't need to use this that often, unless you're just starting off, you're making your character. And the last one we have is Configure Settings. In the Configure Settings tab, we have a few options available. The first one we have here, we can change our audio and video. So I can change what device I'm using for my audio. I can change what device I'm using for my video. I can change my push to talk button if you're using the built-in audio for Foundry. You can also change the language and other things here as well. And as you can see, I am using some modules, so as a player, you can't edit everything. You can't edit all of the modules, but you do have access to some of them. Cool. If you need reference for controls, you have that here as well. Just a few more things. Next, I want to go back over to the Actors tab and open up my character sheet. I can open up my character sheet on the Actors tab, or I can double-click the token. Here I have options. I have many options available to me. I can make rolls by double-clicking. And as I can see, I rolled a 17, and it showed me the result 15 plus 2. I can also access my inventory, any features, spellbook, and I also have a space if I want to type out anything regarding my character and their appearance. If I want to have quick access for any of the spells or items, you can click and drag and bring it down to the bottom here. This here is called your macro bar. Let me show you how that works. Say my character is selected and I click the macro bar, it rolls. This is also pretty handy too, because if I wanted to say roll with advantage, I can press Alt on my keyboard and click, and I rolled with advantage. The same thing if I want to roll with disadvantage, I can hold Control and click, and I rolled with disadvantage. So Alt is with advantage, Control is with disadvantage. Okay, to finish up, I want to show how you can roll initiative and how you can set conditions for your character. To roll initiative, again, right click, toggle combat state, go over to the combat, and click the dice next to your character. I can see that I rolled a 15. To set conditions, you can right click, go here, assign status effect, and you can set the status for your character. Depending on whether your GM is using modules, this may look a little bit different. Doesn't do a whole lot other than just setting a little icon next to your character, at least by default. And as a final tip, let's say that you are currently engaged in combat and you want to help out by letting your allies know who you are targeting, which enemy or monster or other character. you can go over to the target tool on the left hand side and double click your target. For you, it'll appear as 4 arrows, but for everyone else, there will be a small circle indicating that you are targeting that creature. And it'll be the color that you chose at the very beginning of this video. Alright, I hope that has helped. There are probably some more things you could go over, especially if your GM is using modules. But I think this is a good place to start. If you have any questions, I am more than happy to help out in the comments below. Thanks everyone.